Lord.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Boss Rush Podcast, a great place to play games and be better. I'm your host, the PC Muscle Race himself, aka LeRon Dawkins. I hope you guys are having a wonderful night. We have a wonderful show for you, and of course, my wonderful co-hosts are back tonight with me. As always, the wonderful Matt Pharmacist stuff. Hello.
What a dramatic pause. I'm like, oh, whose name is he gonna call?
I was trying to figure out how I could have wrapped up you coming back, hot from PAX or whatnot, but I just kind of crashed and burned in my head, so I'm sorry.
Thank you.
But yeah, welcome back from PAX.
Thank you. I'm exhausted, but I'm happy.
Not back from PAX. The one, the only boss man himself, Corey Derrick.
Hello. I am not back from PAX. That is a correct statement if you've ever said one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we have a legend with us tonight here. One of my former friends in crime from the Crossroads podcast, the wonderful Nellie Lott. Welcome back.
Hi. I'm happy to be back. Hi, friends.
Come back more often, please.
I'm too excited. I was so hyped today.
You were also at PAX, right?
I was.
Yeah.
Shout out to Corey. Thank you.
So you and Steph want to talk about your experience at PAX this year? How was PAX East? I did see my husband in pictures out there. Steph knows who it. Ben Starr.
Oh, I was like, which one? Yes. Ben Starr was at quite a lot of panels, and
oh my God, always looking like a fucking snack. Whoops.
Yeah.
Wow, 3 minutes. Never mind. I'm good.
The guy.
I guess our episode can only be 29 and a half minutes long now.
I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. So Sophie, one of our writers, ran into him at the Omni, and then Pat caught up with him and took pictures with him after one of the panels. Some words were exchanged, some promises were supposedly promised, and we'll see what comes out of the promise.
Don't play with me. Do not play with me.
Yeah.
Do not.
I don't want to say it out loud because you never.
Yeah, because you don't want to disappoint me.
To be fair, that was said last year too when we ran into him.
Yes, I know.
Who failed to follow up? Who do I need to be mad at first? Who failed to follow up?
I followed up 3 times, so
no, it's not failing. It's very famous people not looking at their DMs. But this time, supposedly a famous person whose name rhymes with Ken Barr claims that he will be looking out for a DM from Pat to possibly do something, but
Quinn Marr. I know that guy.
I will not confirm that until it's just maybe we'll see.
I'm sorry. Even if I'm on my deathbed, I'm going to be on that episode.
Have you been playing Obscure?
No, I have not.
I have.
Let's just say, if you want to be on a potential episode with a potential guest that rhymes with Ken Snar, you might want to play Expedition 33.
Oh, I haven't played any video games all this past week, but it's like I'm actively playing that game, even though I haven't played any games last week. I haven't played Monster Hunter in the last week, so yeah. I was too busy and too distracted, and I will repeat that when we get back to our what we've been playing segment.
All right, so Ben Starr was there.
What else happened at PAX? What else?
Nellie, why don't you go?
You won't.
Clearly, we hung out.
Yeah. And then I'm about to fangirl a little bit. I walked past Xavier Woods, the wrestler. And I was like, and we kind of locked eyes for a quick second.
What?
I was like, wait a minute. don't faint, because I wanted to. I met him in 2019, so that was like my big highlight for PAX. And he actually,
I yelled at her to chase after him.
He was gone, and plus he was surrounded. I'm like, I don't know if that's security or his boys. So,
well, that's awesome.
Right? Played a few.
That's games. Awesome. I love his hair.
I know, right? He had his hair, the little mohawk that he's rocking right now in the WWE.
Oh crap!
So that's how I kind of knew it was him.
Yeah, I need to just do something with my hair and get it all like wonderful like that, because that's kind of what I want to do, you know, before I finally like just shave it all off and just be the bald black guy, you know, for the rest of my life.
But yeah, played a few games, got some interviews. I need to write some articles. Yeah.
Nice.
Did a lot of shopping. That's where my whole check went, to be honest.
Oh,
A lot of shopping.
I was like, okay.
So Corey, how was your week?
Yeah, LeRon, don't let me talk about how my PAX was. Okay.
I was coming back to you. Jeez.
I'm just being sassy back. Sorry, Corey. Go ahead.
I'm afraid if I should go or not now.
No, I'm sorry.
It's been okay. It's been really busy. Work is busy, but you know, there's some you know, things changing, but it should be good. I hope. I'm, you know, optimistic. If that's a word that I can use. For certain things at work, it's you know, it's a lot of our business is based on like semiconductors and chips and AI stuff that all has, you know, kind of has certain parts of it have bans from the government on for importing and tariffs on other parts and, you know, that sort of thing. But other than that, you know, just busy. I actually sat down and played a game for 2.5 hours last night, which was fun because my wife had a long day, so she went like right to bed. So the time I usually spend with her, I got to spend with my Xbox, and I was started playing some Claire Obscure Expedition 33, and let me tell you, man, it sometimes I wonder if a game's going to hook me or not. But like within the first like 20 minutes, I was like, I'm in, you know, and it's already got like a heart-wrenching story plus like all kinds of cool characters and cool accents because they're French and English at the same time, and you know, it's fun. It's very, very fun. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. I only did the prologue though. I just got to Act 1, so I don't, you know, I'm not like very far or anything, but I took like 2.5 hours to explore the entire area and like, try to talk to everybody, and it's designed. Sorry, I don't mean to keep going. I know we usually talk about what we've been playing at the end, but this game is so intriguing and so fascinating to me. It's so far, you know the games that everybody online say this game is amazing. This game's amazing, but it's like every other game on the planet. It's like the greatest game of all time, and it's usually overhyped. I'm going to tell you the last game I felt like this towards, where I was like, okay, guys, calm down. This you know, this game can't be that amazing. I mean, I am sure the story's great and whatever, but like, you know, let's relax. Okay. Let me tell you, the last time I felt like that was near Automata, and that's one of my favorite games of all time. And I feel this game going down the same path. It's got a little bit of I don't want to say it has near in it, but it feels very kind of, you know, kind of broken world type aesthetic to it, and like, you know, what game it actually feels a lot like is Lost Odyssey. Has a lot of Lost Odyssey vibes to it, which was the Mistwalker JRPG exclusive for Xbox 360. Nellie, I know you said you're recollecting Xbox 360 games. Lost Odyssey, it's amazing.
I add that one to my list.
But yeah, it was the second game from the creator of Final Fantasy when he left Square Enix to form his new studio. That was his game, and then he did Blue Dragon before that, and then after that he did The Last Story for Wii, and then he did Fantasian's Neo Dimension was his game too. So, but it's got a lot of elements of that in it, and I recommend. I'm playing it through Game Pass. I will probably buy it eventually. I'm going to wait to see if there's a Switch 2 version to buy it, because the way Xbox is going, I'm not going to invest in that store very much anymore. I'm going to be honest. But if not, I'll probably buy it somewhere. I want to support that studio because it's just great. Mm-hmm. Anyways, my week's been good. Ish.
All right. Well, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I'm having an interesting week. I'm just gonna say it like that. The only thing I'm gonna say to people is like, if you got friends, loved ones that you really deeply care about and stuff like that, you know, like just convey to them that, you know, like you love them, you care for them and stuff like that, because you never know when you might lose a chance on saying it to them. And that's all I'm going to say about my week. Stephanie, so please round us out with some really good stuff from PAX.
I'll try. I spent more money than I wanted to, which is no surprise. One of them, I'm not going to show everything, but I'm going to show some. I got myself a great desk mat, and it's a Legend of Zelda one.
Nice.
This was sold out from I Am 8-Bit within seconds, so I got myself an Oh Dear Diner from Alan Wake from I Am 8-Bit. And I got some cool Razer products, and LeRon, this should be interesting. I got the Razer handheld dock Chroma station, and this was announced in January. It's not for sale yet to the public, but they were selling some at PAX, and it's a dock meant for ROG Ally, Steam Deck, tablets, and iPhones. So I'm gonna test it out.
All right, cool. Yeah, I heard the announcement for them, but I didn't. But it's been so long that I kind of forgot. But I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, Corey's gonna help me put together like a quick unboxing video of it. I'm really curious to try it out. I want to see if we can kind of branch out into like accessories, even though I'm not really as savvy on it. I got a couple things from Limited Run, Castlevania Dominus Collection, Wizardry, and as I've been blowing up your chats with, I did get to play Gex Trilogy and interview Limited Run people and kind of talk to them about some Switch 2 stuff. And, you know, a 1,000 pins and so on and so forth. So I played a lot of demos, bought a lot of stuff, made a lot of connections. I saw Fretless there again, the music turn-based RPG, a release date for next week, May 22nd. It is a fantastic game, and a lot of other press people also really loved it. So it's not just me fangirling over this game. Also, LeRon, because you like rhythm games, right?
Yes, I do.
There was a game at PAX that I say keep your eye on. It's called Fresh Tracks, and you are on skis or something, and I don't know. It's like some sort of like made up Scandinavian like lore, but the gameplay is a rhythm game. And you get little bits of lore and you can select which kind of track you want to take next. And each it's like god that you need to gain favor with has a type of music like
Oh,
electro
snap.
and then rock and roll music and classical music and rap music. So each god, quote unquote, favors a certain genre of music. And then when you play their levels, you hear that kind of music.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
I'm watching
very,
the trailer. I'm watching the trailer right now as you talk about it.
Yeah, I played the demo and it was a lot of fun, even someone who wasn't as great. And you can select like easier levels or difficult levels. And the fact that there's a variety of music, I think that's something to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, this looks pretty cool.
Yeah. So PAX was great. I got to see some friends. I watched video game trivia. But yeah, if anyone else is curious what else we covered, we do have a daily PAX, Boss Rush PAX East Diaries, and we produced a lot of articles. I'm proud of our team. We cranked that stuff out.
Yeah. I was actually playing catch up over the weekend with those articles. Thank you.
Oh. And then lastly, not sorry not to circle back at limited run, and I didn't want to make any promises, but I am going to North Carolina in August, September. I don't know if it can happen this round, but I'm making connections with limited run, and hopefully, maybe someday I can be able to tour their offices down there and kind of talk to them more about the stuff that they do.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Any like really good highlights one good highlight from from your time out there. I'm gonna ask you the same question, Nelly, also, so get ready.
I
Like
already was about to say something, so
game wise or any topic wise.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Just like what made this year's visit really cool for you?
I think the visit that made it really cool for me was just the fact that I was a lot more comfortable with making connections and seeing certain devs come back and see how their games improved. So it was really more thematical for me than some specific moment. I mean, I got to hang out with Nellie, I got to hang out with Dan. So it was really just all coming together as a group and just expanding our reach. I know it sounds really wishy-washy, but
No, not at all. And Nelly, what about you? What was your highlight for the for the event this year?
actually, it was kicking it with the Boss Rush team again. I haven't seen you guys in a minute. Sorry, I missed you, Corey, but again, I did want to say thank you because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be able to have. I can't even get my words out. I couldn't have been able to go because I got COVID in January, so that kind of messed up everything. But again, um, not to turn this, not to offend anybody, but they say God work in mysterious ways, so I was able to go. But there was also a game called Letters from the Past, Undusted, and it kind of like what you said, LeRon. Tell your loved ones you love them because it is about a girl who pretty much lost her parents, and she's exploring the house that she used to live in and collecting items, and each item has like a different story, and she's just reminiscing over everything. So uh, that actually touched me in a special way because I lost my dad 3 years ago, and you know I didn't get to tell him I love him for the last time. So yeah.
All right. And just real quickly, if you want to support the Boss Rush podcast, please go over to our Patreon at patreon.com/Boss Rush Network. As always, subscribing to our tiers on the Patreon can grant you perks like new exclusive content, as well as early access to some of our special shows and stuff like that. As always, though, your viewership and your listenership are more than enough for us. So please, if you're doing it right now, please subscribe to the Boss Rush Network on YouTube and give this video a like in the process. We also invite those comments and everything. We want to know what we're doing well. We want to know how you guys are feeling about us and stuff like that. So please give us a comment, share it with your friends and stuff like that. Get more people involved and active on this, and let's help become a big gaming community. If you listen on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify, or even if you don't, just do us a favor. Just go over there, leave a rating for us. A nice review on those platforms. I say this every week, and you think I'm joking, but we won't tell anybody. If you are just one of those people that just love us so much, but you never really check us out, that you want to leave us a nice glowing review, 5 stars. Just do it. Just do it. Somebody here will give you a big kiss. As always, you can find all of our banters, features, listicles, reviews, and much more over on our website. That's bossrush.net. So, guys, this is episode 275, so it's time to kick this thing off. Who has a topic? Who wants to go first?
I guess I will go first.
All right, awesome.
Maybe.
Awesome. What you got for us tonight?
So I listen to quite a few podcasts during the week as it helps me kind of, get through the workday. And there's been a lot of discussions about the next generation of consoles. I think that topic is coming up a little bit more these days because obviously Nintendo's about to launch their next generation, right, with Switch 2. And the ROG Ally something or other is coming out soon, right? And there's rumors swirling around the second Steam Deck and stuff like that. And a lot of people are talking about a PS6 and the next generation of Xbox has a lot of questions swirling around it. So like, I don't know. I still feel like these consoles are pretty new. So, the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox are like, they're in their 6th year this fall, right? I mean, I don't know. Speculation is growing around the potential of new generation launching as early as 2027. I mean, that's only a year and a half away, essentially. But is that timeline too soon? While some gamers argue that current generation of consoles are just hitting their stride, others point to staggering innovation, cross-gen support, and growing concerns on how games play and run as signs that a leap forward may be needed. The rise of cloud gaming, AI integration, and increasing pressure to match PC performance also fuel the debate. So are we ready to move on, or have we yet to see this generation's potential? And I feel like before anybody answers, I just want to say, like, I feel like I'm not really ready, but my answer might have been different before that GTA trailer and after the GTA trailer. So who wants to go first?
I mean, I'm probably the least knowledgeable and experienced with this, so I'll just give my simpleton layman answer is from a like just a feeling perspective. I don't think I'm ready, and I'm not sure if it's because, especially with Xbox, I had a hard time thinking that it really lived up to its full potential during its lifetime. But it's also, I finally have an Xbox, and I'm like, all right, I feel like, man, we just need a couple of like tentpole titles that the console represents, and I wasn't sure if I felt that. With PS5, maybe a little bit more. I know they had a couple of titles. But even so, I feel that that stunted growth in the beginning also played a factor in my perception that they really haven't been out that long, even though if you look at the years, it has been. And Corey, does the Switch count in the same generation, or is it a weird?
I don't know. It's technically like it's technically part of this generation, but it's like I just feel like I don't even count Nintendo in this generation anymore because, like, I mean, they always do their own thing, and their power is always so behind every other console. Like, and I know generation doesn't necessarily mean power, right? But it's like,
Yeah,
They almost don't feel like they're a contender sometimes.
Yeah, Switch feels like a supplement to the other consoles as opposed to a competitor at this point, right?
okay. I think the last thing, and I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't seen the GTA trailer. I guess I will eventually. I don't know. I had other things.
I was wondering why you weren't swooning like I was, because I shared it.
I know, and then I got distracted. It's not for not wanting. I just got distracted.
So much eye candy in that trailer.
It really is.
I mean, like everybody's a slice in that trailer. Oh my god.
I mean, I
I
heard a
just feel like
jiggle physics, but I was like, for real, this is what it's coming to.
I
And
don't
Nellie knows because she lives in Florida. She knows.
Yes. And everybody just looks so realistic, and I'm like, what the hell are y'all doing? Like,
Once
what?
again, Rockstar's about to set the bar.
I mean, they did it with like the first. I mean, I know.
Oh, they did it with Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, and I was about to say they did it with GTA. What was I playing? The Battle of the Gay Tony.
That was 4. That was 4.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Wildly enough. Okay, we remember San Andreas. You go to the strip club. Okay. Yes. So I was like, okay, let me go ahead and hit up the strip club in GTA 4. Saw everything. I had to cut the TV off. I was like, they are really stepping up this technology.
Just a quick factoid for everybody out there, because like the topic is like, is 2027 too early for a new generation of consoles? The ninth generation of consoles kicked off November 2020. So that would put it at 7 years if 2027 is the thing, and that's the average. 7 to 8 years is the average console cycle as far based on modern gaming nowadays and stuff like that. It's been that way since PS2, if I'm being honest. PS2 and PS2 Dreamcast didn't last a whole like 7-8 years. But we know, but basically like once the PS2 got up and running, and then the Xbox showed up and all that stuff, like console generations seem to be a 70-year wide gap.
Yeah, I also think technology has changed since then, right? Like,
I want to weigh in on this because I said this, and Nellie, you and I were on the first episode of the Crossroads podcast, and it was literally the week. It was literally the week that it was literally the week when the showcase came out to show off the PS5 and all that stuff. And I was talking about how, like, we're getting to a point where console gaming is starting to get on par with PC gaming and stuff like that. So I think I raised one of the original questions back then. It was like, could we possibly see a downfall of console gaming? But not so much as like console gaming is going to get phased out, because like we said it, and Corey has said it, like it'd be more like, like there's add-on content to make these like firmware updates and stuff to make these systems more stronger and more robust, outside of actually getting new hardware on top of them and stuff like that. It's amazing because we're talking about the GTA 6 trailer, and everything that Rockstar claimed, and even Sony's kind of backed it up. Everything that we saw in that trailer was on the base PS5. That was running on base PS5 hardware, not the PS5 Pro and stuff like that. So that's a powerful ass machine. It's a powerful machine and stuff like that. But I think 2027, if we look at it from a classic perspective, from legacy perspective and stuff like that, I don't think 2027 is too early, but I do feel like the ninth generation of console gaming stumbled out the gate and stuff like that. So I feel like they need to let, like our friend Sam said, need to let it cook a little bit longer.
Yeah, I was about to say, I feel like
that's my thing. Now, of course, like there's the heartache of the fact that, Microsoft has kind of abandoned like the current generation of Xbox consoles and stuff like that. They've already got their eyes like in different directions and stuff about what they want to do next and stuff like that. So it looks like Microsoft is probably going to be the first. Microsoft and Team Xbox are probably going to be the first ones out the gate, as far as getting the next system out there. Which that's always a risky move. That's always a risky move because, like, Microsoft has always seemed to be competing with Sony and stuff like that. So, like Microsoft, with whatever they're trying to do, like, like they run the risk of getting one-upped once more by their biggest competitor in the business and stuff like that. There's no easy way to say it. Like you can either wait for Sony to do it, or you can, and then Microsoft copies or does it better, or you can wait for Microsoft to do it and then Sony just comes in and does it better and stuff like that. It's a weird time. And ultimately what I'm trying to say is I feel like we just haven't gotten enough out of the current generation of consoles, Nintendo Switch included. Actually, no, we've seen enough. It's time for Switch 2. it's time. But like I feel like we haven't seen enough out there. And also like I think the moment that like gaming on both PC and consoles, like like are 1-to-1, like the same and stuff like that, because the word on the street is like PC gaming is always going to have an edge on it, because like you can squeeze a lot more out of the hardware PC, whereas consoles are there for the stability, that's what the mass population likes. They like stability, but they also like being able to like to have that cutting edge stuff and stuff like that. So, but once that line gets blurred between the two, and it's like, I don't know if I'm looking at this on a PC build or if this is a console build. That's when like that's when the console generations are probably going to start slipping.
Yeah, I think I have an unpopular opinion.
That's a lot of dead air, huh?
Can you not hear me? Can you not hear me?
Anybody else want to weigh in on this? Or did I just suck all the life out of the room?
I don't think LeRon can hear any of us.
No.
Oh, Stephanie, got audio problem? Is that what's going on?
Mm-mm. I don't think LeRon can hear us.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Whoops. I accidentally put that in the live chat, but yeah, it's I have a
someone take over hosting duties while I figure out what's going on with my technology.
I have a interesting take on quote unquote console generations.
Let's hear it.
I don't think they're going to exist anymore. I think we're coming to a point where consoles are going to start being like phones and iPads, where like there's going to be versions of these boxes, and you'll find out that games up to this point only support down to this version, or because I think there's too much money to be made on these platforms for them not to have a box. But consoles are becoming so PC centric that it's hard for them to say, oh, there's going to be a new generation because we have to have a new generation, right? I mean, that's why PS4 is still in circulation. And there's going to be a point where Sony might have 4 consoles on the market, right? With PS4, PS5, PS6, and whatever their potential handheld is going to be, right? And they're all going to run the same games, and they're all going to be scalable, and they're all going to be, run at different frame rates and resolutions and texture packs and whatever, right? I mean, you look at kind of how the Switch runs some games on TV. It runs at 1080p, 900p, whatever. Sometimes it gets as low as like 540p in handheld mode, right? And it's like, that looks choppy and ugly and pixelated, but it runs, right? And so I think that's the problem you're going to start running into. And then the enthusiasts will always have the new box, the pro version of the box, the high end one, and then families who just want to play like Astrobot or Mario Kart or whatever, they're gonna have the cheap one, right? It's why the Series S is outselling the Series X like 3-1, right? It's because it's the cheaper box. It's it plays Minecraft and Fortnite and the kid games, and that's good enough. So
fair point. I mean, it makes sense, honestly. The whole like, are we reaching how do we say this? Like a point of like minimum, like a diminishing returns, I should say.
mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, will these generations make these massive leaps or even matter so much in the future? Which, I'm kind of okay with. A little bit sad, but it is what it is. I'm not going to lose sleep over it,
Yeah, and that point of, are we reaching that point of diminishing returns? I think games like GTA and Horizon and Death Stranding all prove what this generation can do visually, and aesthetically, and the engineering under the hood, right? Like all the stuff you don't see. I really think we are at that point, and especially in graphical fidelity. I don't think people really care if games look much better than they do now, right? I mean, it's almost kind of boring to see a photorealistic game at this point. And so, I think I think power is kind of going to be for the sake of the developers, if anyone.
Yeah.
So
there's a meme out there where it's like video games, like video game technology leap from this year to this year, and it was like when we were growing up, and the technological advances when we were growing up were like massively different. And then they showed like technological advances now, and they show like a snapshot of like Breath of the Wild when it first came out, and like Breath of the Wild for like Switch 2. So it's kind of like these leaps, quote unquote, in technology are, I mean, sure they're there, but it's not as drastic.
Yeah. Well, maybe the technological leap is that Breath of the Wild won't run at 12 frames a second when something catches on fire.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
There's the leaps and strides that are happening as far as like like generation to generation are it feels like we're almost getting diminishing returns on it to a certain extent. Like, yeah, things are getting better. As a matter of fact, I think where the things are getting better at and what we're just not realizing is hardware. Like, like look at Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Like, I mean, the power of PS5's SSD alone and being able to do the stuff that it did with the with those loading sequences and stuff, there was almost seamless to the point where like you didn't even notice that there was a gap in the load times. Like that's amazing and stuff like that. Being able to have all that data ready, so like the game does not have to like pause or slow down or fake you out with a cutscene or whatnot. And that's both Xbox Series the Series X and the PlayStation 5, and stuff like that. We are seeing like it on the hardware side, not realizing that like it's changing the way we have done gaming on consoles and stuff like that. Everybody used to like bellyache about like load times, stuff like that. We virtually have no load times now. Like there's other things that of course are falling by the wayside, but like I think the biggest round of applause, well, the biggest victory lap that can be something about the ninth generation consoles is like the hardware is like really picking up and stuff like that. And yeah, I know everyone's gonna complain about well, why did Sony put 8K on the box and all that stuff? The hardware is capable of that, but guess what? Like it still takes a lot of resources and stuff like that. Yeah, unless you're ready to pay 8K money, then don't complain about it.
Yeah. So, I think there's just a real pressure for these companies to keep putting boxes out there because, hardware gets people excited and shareholders always want to know about this stuff. And obviously, especially, you and me, LeRon, we're always into the newest piece of technology to see how it works and how it functions and if it's worth it or not. We always try to have at least one of the new pieces of hardware close to launch to mess around with it. I also think there's a pressure by retailers to have boxes because after a certain amount of years that the boxes just start to sell less and retailers need that space for other things. And obviously that's different with online marketplaces and everything, but it's just one of those things. And so like what I was saying while you were away, LeRon, is like I think these boxes are just going to kind of turn into like a cell phone type plan at some point where like not yearly, right? But like maybe every 3 years, like the way that the Pro cadence is now, like 4 years after, maybe we get a Pro console, or 4 years after maybe we get the, PlayStation 5.3 or whatever, right? And and then you work backwards from there and say, hey, once we get to PlayStation 5.8 or whatever, we're going to stop supporting, 5.0 and 5.1 or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I think the one thing that we won't see with consoles is unlike on the PC side where like we upgrade our components and stuff. That's still probably the only thing we will never see on the console side because I think these companies still like the whole the sanctity of their intellectual properties and stuff like that. they don't want the average person to see, you know, like the innards of a PlayStation or an Xbox and being able to know exactly how it works out and stuff like that. Yeah, we can learn all this stuff on the technical side on paper and stuff like that, but they don't want it. I don't think they will ever want people to just start injecting like hardware, hard mods or whatever you want to call it into these consoles and stuff like that. Because of course, you know, like certain companies are like, yeah, if you modify the system in any way, shape, or habit or form, like we will shut it down.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Remember the 360 mods?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the stuff that they did with the hard drives. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Man, I used to hate being the person to tell someone when they would bring one of those into GameStop to trade in. I was like, hey, I can't take this. There's no way we can resell this.
Mm-hmm. And then I remember when I got mine, somebody was like, "Ooh, let me know if you want to mod it. You get all the games." No.
Yeah, that was so crazy though. Like I remember my one friend had a modded Xbox, and he bought this, like, I don't know, whatever the biggest hard drive for Xbox 360 was at the time, like 250 gigs, or maybe it was a 500 gig one or whatever. But he had something like 200 games on it. I was like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? And then he had like these little like modules for emulators on it too. So he was playing like Super Nintendo games on it and stuff. I was like, man, what are you? I mean, it's cool, but what are you doing? So, all right. Yeah. And I don't know. I think it's too early, honestly, for a new generation. I mean, aside from like the power stuff, I still feel like the Switch is it feels like a newer, you know, piece of hardware, even though like it's obvious not in the power sense, but just as like a console.
You're talking about the current Nintendo Switch,
yeah,
right? Not
like
not the Switch 2 that hasn't.
Like, yes, technologically, it's old. It feels old, but like actually holding it and looking at it, it's still aesthetically pleasing and doesn't look old. So, and it doesn't feel old. Maybe because we just talk about it all the time, that it just feels fresh all the time. I don't know. But I feel like these consoles have yet to hit their stride, and I think GTA proves that. You know, I mean, look how great Horizon Forbidden West looked. That's a PS4 game. Look how amazing that game looks, right? Like, what do you want? What else do you want from this machine?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, higher frame rates, I guess, would be the thing, right? But that's essentially what the Pro is promising, right? So, I don't know.
Even when I was playing The Last of Us Part 1 and 2, I'm like, there's still so much potential in this console, this current generation console. So why are we trying to like push out more? You see what I'm saying?
Right. And those are PS4 games. You know, like, it's crazy. But, you know, I mean, again, that's, and I know we're wrapping up and moving on, but that's what, you know, in terms of GTA, that's what, you know, $1 billion budget gets you. And when you're first party, you know, you're getting all that, you know, a 30% rip theoretically off of everything sold on your store. So that money's kind of funding your first party. So, I mean, those games are always going to look good too, you know, plus they're optimized for the console because it's first party theoretically. Unless you're Xbox, then the PlayStation 4 Pro is the best place to play Xbox games. So.
Okay.
Man, for as much as I like Xbox, I sure kind of hate them sometimes. That's fine. Hate on them, not hate them.
All right, Corey, is there a final thought you have for this one?
I mean, I think it's too early, to be honest. I think there's some.
I agree.
I think there's a lot of things they need to nail on the next generation console for it to be meaningful.
I don't know. 2027 is 18 months away. I don't know if it might feel too early for us because like we're barely halfway through 2025. It might seem too early, but who knows? By the time we get to 2027, we might be tired of the current console generation.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. I mean, Xbox might not have a next generation console. It'll just be PC. It'll be PC stuff. So who knows?
I feel like that should have been what they were doing all along, but whatever. What do I know? I just host a podcast show.
I hope the next Xbox, to prove that it's a PC, is the Xbox logo, but in between each of the the cross that you make the X with is just one of the Windows colors, and it's just a round Windows logo, because that's essentially what the Xbox logo is anyway. All right, I'm done.
All right. Well, I guess it's time to move on to the next topic. What is our next topic? Who wants to take this one? What is our next topic?
Let's talk Capcom.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. Now you're talking my language.
Yeah, I think a lot of us find Capcom near and dear to our hearts, whether it's one or many of their franchises. And technically, this news story didn't surprise me, but I just wanted to share it and maybe celebrate their wins as of late. So, Capcom is on a historic hot streak. They revealed their fit for their fiscal year 2025. They posted its highest ever sales and operating income, marketing its 12th straight year of growth. Holy cow. A lot of the success is being driven by two primary franchises of theirs, Resident Evil and Monster Hunter, with the remakes of Resident Evil like 2, 3, 4, and the newer ones of 7 and 8, and Monster Hunter, Rise and Wilds. In fact,
Say it again. Say it again.
I swear, I thought you were
Capcom's top 13 best-selling games, 10 of them belong to these two franchises. Right now, Monster Hunter Wilds is leading the charge at 10 million units sold. So, as they're wrapping up this record-breaking fiscal year, they've been a long staple in gaming. They've had lots of up and downs. So I'd like to ask the group, what factors do you think have contributed to Capcom's consistent financial growth in the last decade? Do you think it's because Capcom's been in the game for a while and it's nostalgia, or do you think they've learned to adapt um, compared to maybe Konami that's still kind of struggling, trying to play catch up, or do you think they're executing smart business strategy?
I think it's a combination of all three. I really do. And the reason why I say this is because like, number one, Capcom likes to engage with their community, with their customer base and stuff like that. Capcom's always, like, every couple of weeks, especially if you're subscribed to Capcom ID, I think that's what it's called. There's always a poll. There's always they're asking some questions and stuff like that. We're trying to see what's going on. We're trying to see if you're familiar with the product and stuff like that. And then they're critiquing all that stuff. Also, Capcom is one of those weird companies because, yeah, like when you look at Capcom, you're always looking at like Monster Hunter, Resident Evil, Onimusha, Street Fighter, Phoenix Wright, Mega Man, exactly. Even though I feel like Mega Man is like the redhead stepchild of like all the Capcom stuff, But at the same, the reason why I say that is because Mega Man does not get like the same release cadence that these other games do. Like, but Monster Hunter, Dragon's Dogma, Street Fighter, these are technically their games as a service, like Division, in all seriousness, stuff like that. And it gives other games, and I don't put Resident Evil in that frame, because like Resident Evil, you get your release, you get 1 or 2 DLCs, and they move on. They move on. They usually move on to the next Resident Evil, whether we are ready for it or not, and stuff like that. So, but like all those other games, like look at Street Fighter, massive worldwide potential. As a matter of fact, Street Fighter was the GOAT until Monster Hunter World and Iceborne came along, and then Monster Hunter World and Iceborne outsold the GOAT of all time, Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition. Just like crushed it, like in overall sales, like 28 million like units of that stuff, But these are games like when we look at Street Fighter, for example. Street Fighter has seasonal content. So like the game has its own longevity and stuff like that while they're working on the next Street Fighter entry and stuff like that. Same thing goes with Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter, like the servers are still open for Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, and that's on the Switch. you can pop your Switch on right now and jump online and play with somebody and stuff like that. Monster Hunter World and Iceborne servers still open. I was playing Monster Hunter World and Iceborne all the way up until the launch of Monster Hunter Wilds, and that's given the fact that there's another Monster Hunter game that's current, Monster Hunter Rise and Sunbreak. Their servers are still open and stuff like that, right? Stuff like that. But also, like, it is definitely the power of nostalgia and stuff like that. This is why Okami is coming back. This is why we got a brand new Onimusha, like entry. This is why Devil May Cry, Dante and the crew are like sprinkled across like all the different games, even though they haven't gotten a new game yet, stuff like that. But I think the magic behind this whole thing is the fact that Capcom tries to listen to their customer base, and they do it a little more. They do it a little more successfully than Microsoft Studios, PlayStation Studios. They do it. This is gonna sound so mean, but they sure as hell do it better than Nintendo does. They sure do. Because there's a lot of stuff that like Nintendo fans, like Corey, is giving me the side eye. Jesus Christ. But they do. Like, I mean, let's look at this for a second. Let's look at this for a second here. Corey, you are the bona fide Nintendo guy on this podcast, right?
Sure.
How often do you get engagement from Nintendo of America, let alone Nintendo
you
home
mean like
office?
You mean like a poll or a survey or something?
Yeah. How often?
Probably like 2 or 3 times a week.
You do?
Yeah.
Stephanie, is that true? Do you get that, or are you not in the ecosphere?
From Nintendo?
Yeah.
I must be really not important because I don't get any.
I get every time I buy a new game, I get one. Every time my membership auto renews, I get one. Every time I engage with like an online something.
This is interesting. This is interesting. Go on. Keep going.
And but it's always the same girl in the picture with the blue hair, and like.
Is it like a customer satisfaction thing? What is it?
There are some of that. There's some of that. There's some like, are you enjoying your new game? Are you what suggestions do you have for us? That those emails come in once in a while. Like,
is it because you buy directly from Nintendo, like your games?
I'm not every game.
Interesting.
Physical games I usually buy from Best Buy.
Well, see, that's why my mind is blown, because I have not gotten a single one of these inquiries. It's all right. Well, with that being said,
I'm actually at a loss for words right now. I think Corey just found a way to shut me up.
Well, that's why I'm trying to fill the dead air. I do think Capcom, I think it is a mix, LeRon. I believe Capcom is leveraging nostalgia to be able to revive these older franchises that they have. And now that they're in their hot streak, I think they're going to come back bigger and better than ever. I do think Capcom, what they have versus other developers, is that they're humble enough to learn from either past mistakes or just feedback. Sometimes studios may be very bullheaded and not want to change, and they insist they know what the customer wants. So I think that's a big part of it. And before I let you continue, I did pull up their fiscal report, and I did want to quickly rattle off their top games. It's amazing. LeRon, you're going to love this. Number 1, Monster Hunter Wilds. Number 2, Monster Hunter World. Number 3, Resident Evil 4. Number 4, Monster Hunter World Iceborne. Number 5, Monster Hunter Rise. Number 6, Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. Resident Evil Village, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 7, Street Fighter 6, Devil May Cry 5, Resident Evil 3, and Dragon's Dogma 2. So much Monster Hunter.
Oh my God, I am giddy. Jeez. Oh man, and to think I've been a Monster Hunter fan since the game first came out. Oh my God.
Yeah, LeRon, I'm looking through my email. I got 3 emails from Nintendo today.
Mm-hmm.
One was my GameCube controller confirmation, so I guess that doesn't really count. but I got one that said said some games on your wish list are for sale. And then it has suggested titles based on what I've played in the last whatever.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Got a GameCube controller today, by the way. I'm very excited. Stephanie told me she got one. I'm like, it literally told me that I had to also pre-order a Switch 2 the other day to get a GameCube controller. I'm like, what are you talking about? And so it was great. It's funny because I already had it in my cart. So I just went to my cart and checked out while people were waiting in their queue.
I think you're getting all this correspondence from Nintendo because hold on. Oh,
awesome.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like I've got the video playing in the background, and I just realized where it's at in the timestamp was where I had technical difficulties.
Mm.
Yeah. So it distracted me for a second. I was like, holy crap, did I just drop out? Anyway, I think the main reason why you get so much engagement from Nintendo is because you spend so much money with them. And this is not me being shady to you or anything like that. This is what I'm thinking, you know. I have a funny feeling if I reach out to Ed, he's gonna say something really similar about not about you, about like Nintendo reaching out to him. I just have this feeling.
Ed's got to check his email first, dude.
That's the way I figure it, you know. And like I said, it's not shade.
I mean, maybe, I don't know.
No, it's not. It's not.
No, I mean, maybe that's why. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I just know I have to delete a bunch of emails all the time from them. It's annoying, but I delete a lot of emails all the time. So,
Nellie, you are the Resident Evil queen here on the show, so stuff like that. So please chime in on this. You know, like is Capcom doing a phenomenal job with Resident Evil right now, or do you think because there's a lot of people that are kind of getting really like fed up of like remakes and stuff. They actually want like newer and fresher ideas and stuff like that. You know, to the fact that to the point where they actually reject new ideas like RE verse. You know.
I think to me, it's like a 50-50 split. This is just me personally. I rather play like the older version of the Resident Evil games, including the remakes. Like Resident Evil 7 and 8, I really don't deal with. I don't know. It's just not my thing. But again, that's just me. I think it's a 50-50 split. I don't think they're doing anything wrong, to be honest, because I think they're just trying to cater to everybody and just try something different. So that's just me.
Yeah, I think Capcom has really, you know, I think they've really been turning it around. Obviously, like, you know, I think the quote unquote low point was probably DMC and Resident Evil 6, even though I like both of those games, and there's a lot of revisionist history on DMC at this point, which, look, guys, I know where you were in 2012 or whenever that game came out.
Oh, me too.
Y'all hated it. Okay.
Me too.
But I think they looked at that and they're like, what's working and what's not. And, you know, I think Monster Hunter has a lot to do with it, with like the, you know, it was pretty popular on the DS or the 3DS. And, you know, I remember hearing about Monster Hunter on the 3DS, and my one friend stopped playing Destiny with us because Monster Hunter came out on 3DS. So like, I mean, not totally, but like we had to find people to play with for a while because he dropped out. Right. So like, but
he's playing 4 Ultimate on the DS or what was the Generations Ultimate?
It must have been 4 Ultimate. Whatever one came out with that blue 3DS. The special
that edition. Was 4 Ultimate. Yeah, because I have that DS.
Yeah, so it must have been that one. And so I think where they really kind of started turning it around was Street Fighter 4. You look at that and kind of the success that had. Everybody was excited about it. Cool art style, great new lineup of characters mixed with nostalgic characters. And then you see how they've kind of evolved. Monster Hunter and Dragon's Dogma was a surprise hit for them, especially after that Dark Arisen version came out. And then, you look at how they took a step back with Resident Evil and they're like, okay, what's working, what's not? How do we get back to the horror? And 7 was a huge hit. 2 remake, huge hit. 3 remake. Yeah. They had to build it off the bones of a game that wasn't very good anyway, right? But it was still a great looking, great playing remake of 3, right? Monster Hunter World obviously took off way more than I think they expected, especially initially. And I think they've just been all about quality ever since. I mean, even Mega Man 11 was pretty good, right?
Oh, Mega Man 11 was amazing. Oh my god, I feel like that's one of the best entries in a Mega Man game. Yeah. And I'm not just saying that because it's the newest one. I loved Mega Man 11, and Mega Man 11 also told me that I need to play Mega Man games differently.
So I think Capcom's just really been like, head to the grindstone, really pushing themselves to put out quality games. And when their quality games sell really well, it allows them to do experiments like Kunitsugami, like making an Okami sequel that I'm telling you won't sell very well. It'll sell well. It won't be like
it's gonna be a fan favorite.
It won't be like a 10 million seller, right? It'll cross 1 million maybe at some point. But like you said earlier, LeRon, allows them to revisit Onimusha. I mean, they did that dumb, what was it? That dinosaur mech game on Xbox. What was it? Exoprimal.
Exoprimal.
Yeah, and I think obviously Exoprimal and Kunitsugami were, partially funded by Microsoft to get them over the edge because they were spending their budgets on other games, but they still are allowed to experiment like that because of the success of their massive titles, So Capcom killing it, and Street Fighter 6 by all accounts is pretty good. I haven't played it, so I don't know, but certainly better than Mortal Kombat 1, I assume. Man, that game.
Oh. Yeah, Mortal Kombat 1 bubble. Yeah, that bubble popped pretty hard. Yeah. At this point, I mean, Capcom might as well rename themselves Monster Hunter and Resident Evil Inc. because like those 2 games are doing the heavy lifting for sure and stuff like that. But one thing I will say is like, the fact that Capcom puts all this weight on those games and they still turn around and make lesser known games like Kunitsugami, for example. Like, I'll be honest with you, like I was one of those people that I basically wrote off Kunitsugami when it was announced and all that stuff. And then like to see it get all these accolades and stuff, I was like, holy crap. Like, did I miss the boat on something? And that's the thing about it. Like Capcom is still able to take risks, it's because like, they use like Monster Hunter and Resident Evil to like fund these new IPs that, may take off, may not take off, like, I tell you this, like when a Capcom game is flopped because like we wind up getting another collection, like an arcade collection or a Phoenix Wright collection. When a project's flopped or they had to let something go.
Well, I think they're doing the Nintendo thing, right? They're balancing their catalog of, okay, we're gonna release a collection, like a remastered collection. We're gonna release a remake, of a game people love. We're gonna take a big swing at something like Dragon's Dogma 2, which, I think I've heard mixed things about Dragon's Dogma 2, but like they took a big swing at that, right? And they, obviously, and then they have their big, huge tentpoles like Monster Hunter, right? And
Dragon's Dogma 2 has like its own like cult following and stuff. It's not the breakaway success they would love it to be. Like, cause Dragon's Dogma actually came out to like kind of fill in the gap that Monster Hunter left behind while Monster Hunter was doing the portable Nintendo run.
Right.
Yeah. I tried to get into it and I just couldn't. And now I'm not sure if that's because I was expecting a Monster Hunter game when I should have been expecting a Dungeons and Dragons game,
Yeah.
Yeah, I played the first one, but after that,
it was blah to me.
Yeah, but I mean, to that point though, it's like they haven't been perfect, right? But they've really, I think they're probably, aside from maybe Sony in terms of quality releases, Capcom's probably putting out the most consistent quality games in the last decade, for sure. I mean, look at the games we didn't even mention, like Devil May Cry 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
People love that game.
Banger.
You know? So.
Yeah.
I think they just make it work for them, so.
Stephanie, can I wrap this topic up?
Absolutely.
All right, awesome. All right, so Capcom is an absolute tear, with Monster Hunter Wilds rewriting the company's record books and Resident Evil refusing to slow down. These franchises aren't just carrying the brand, they're dominating the entire conversation. If this is a sign of what's coming, then the rest of the gaming industry better buckle up, because Capcom's not just playing the game, they're freaking owning it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Wonderful topic.
I'm excited to play Street Fighter 6 on the Switch 2.
Press C to chat.
Press C to chat. Coming soon.
All right. Okay, so I don't know. I wanted to talk about this last week, but because of certain things going on, like we didn't really have an opportunity to talk about it. I think ultimately, like Stephanie and I had a wonderful like mini show. Like technically it was a pre-show, but we call it a mini show because we're on for like 40 minutes, and we had a good time talking about this. And I did invoke the name of somebody, because there's a conversation around this game. And if people are wondering what the game is, it's South of Midnight. Okay, so I'm just gonna put it out there. This game is doing a lot better than was even initially expected by like Microsoft Studios. It is, stuff like that, and in the gaming landscape that's dominated by blockbuster titles and stuff like that, South of Midnight emerges as a refreshing narrative-driven experience. Just for a little bit of history, it's developed by Compulsion Games, and this action-adventure game intertwines like Southern folklore with innovative musical storytelling. Offering players a unique journey that through a culturally rich and mystical world. Now then, having garnered attention for its distinctive approach in game design, South of Midnight emphasizes cultural authenticity and musical integration over conventional blockbuster elements. With over 1 million players engaged in this game through sales and on the Xbox Game Pass within the first 3 weeks of this release, the game demonstrates the potential success of titles that prioritize artistic expression and niche storytelling. Compulsion Game CEO Guillaume Provost, oh wow, I got that right, and without getting tongue-tied, highlights the studio's mission is to create diverse and representative gaming experiences, steering away from the mainstream blockbuster formulas. So we need to talk about this because, like, this is another one of those indies that just took people by surprise. Mm-hmm. Another one,
it's not really an indie.
Microsoft I have been wanting to play this game.
It is heaped in the indie category. Even though Microsoft backed it, it's heaped in just like how like
Microsoft owns Compulsion. It was one of the first studios they bought when they went on their purchasing spree.
Okay, Corey.
I'm just telling you. I'm saving you from the comments, man. The Xbox people will come after you. They will do some South of Midnight voodoo magic.
Like I'm afraid of Xbox fanboys? Come on now.
I mean, there's only like 12.
All right. My bad. Okay, that was a gaffe.
Can 100 Xbox fanboys take down a LeRon?
Come at me, bros.
Anyway, I've been wanting to play this game, so I'm gonna just start there.
All right, take it away, Nellie. Take it away.
Well, when I first saw it, I was interested because I'm not gonna lie, the character's black. I gotta represent. And I thought I was gonna get some backlash, but after reading the reviews, oh yeah, I'm way more interested, especially with that black culture. So, and I think we need more diversity in video games anyway. So,
yeah,
and I have plenty in my mouth, so I'm kind of
so it can set assets up like Asmon Gold.
Do I have to edit this out again?
You might want to.
No,
you might want to.
I'll fight
this time. I'll fight that. I'll fight that dude. I will fight him.
We're too far into edit anything. It's staying in.
Okay. So yeah, I made a big gaffe. Like it's not an indie game. It feels like an indie game because like if I don't know, like it has that flair to it and stuff like that, you know. And I don't know, maybe like I guess someone's gonna call me like a gaming elitist because like I looked at the game and I said like, oh, that looks like an indie game when it was definitely backed by like a major backer, so like
I mean,
that.
it's definitely a low budget game though, right? I mean, to that point, I mean, it's a Hi-Fi Rush style game, right? Low budget, 8 to 12 hour experience, story driven.
Hey, a AA title, go figure.
I mean, that's if Xbox has been good at anything the last decade, it's been putting out AA titles, right? I mean,
yeah,
Psychonauts, this, Hellblade.
Yeah. But when we talk about successful video games, it's usually the blockbuster hits with massive budgets and marketing campaigns that come to mind. But what happens when a game like South of Midnight quietly captivates over 1 million players without chasing the traditional blockbuster numbers? What does it say about like the whole definition of success in the video gaming world today?
I think it's worth noting too that this. I think it's worth noting too. I didn't mean to cut you off. I think it's worth noting too that this is only on Xbox and PC. It's not on PlayStation yet, or Switch 2, or wherever else they are going to put it.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, continue. Sorry.
No. It's cool because something that people don't really know about is South of Midnight doesn't just tell its story with its visuals and dialogue. It uses music as a core part of its gameplay and narrative experience. This right there alone is a bold choice that makes you wonder how music can deepen storytelling in games and change the way we interact with them. The reason why it also does this though is because like it actually embraces the culture that's trying to tell the story through it and stuff like that. I'm not gonna turn this into like a Black Power segment or whatnot, but a lot of African American, and definitely deep Southern roots is steeped in music and heritage, and stuff like that. So kudos to them for actually paying attention to that. I also know that the original writer and creator of the game, like they are African American descent and stuff like that. So they had the influence on it as well. But the fact that the company like latched on and didn't try to like gentrify it, and make it homogenized for like the entire general population. Like the gamers who get it got it, and when I say get it, I mean like they get what the story is about. They don't get it's not that they just went out and got it, bought the game. Got your hand up, Corey.
This isn't meant to be a race question or a sexist question. This is generally an honest question. Do you think that this didn't get turned into something like that because the president of Xbox is a black woman?
I hadn't thought about that.
Maybe she has a different valuable perspective.
I'm gonna be bold, and I'm gonna speak for both Nellie and myself. Like, I feel like we didn't even like take that into consideration. Like, we both know who Sarah Bond is. We both know who she is and stuff like that. And I don't think for a moment it ever came into my head. But I can see how that question would come up in a much broader narrative and stuff like that. And you know what? I think, and Nellie, I'm gonna pass the mic to you in a second. I think what we need to do is like we need to point out to the people who are trying to make that dialogue that way. Ultimately, like at the end of the day, like like you need to pay more attention to what's going on around you because everywhere you go, there's going to be a woman somewhere in that business. There's going to be a black woman somewhere in that business. There's going to be a brown woman in that business. There's going to be an Asian woman in that business, and stuff like that. There's always going to be people in that business model and stuff like that. Like I'm watching The Last of Us season 2 right now, and Tati Gabrielle, who they're using her as the likeness for the new hero in the upcoming Naughty Dog game and stuff like that. People have been going off about her and stuff like that, and like they're discrediting like what she's actually able to accomplish. I mean, besides the fact that she's deeply rooted in Naughty Dog, for example, like she was in the first Uncharted movie, well, the only Uncharted movie, but she was in that movie. You know, they keep Naughty Dog likes something about her. They keep tapping the well and coming back to her and stuff like that, you know. And but of course, like, you know, there's always going to be this narrative of, you know, like, are they doing it to just like drum up like, you know, some type of sympathetic points or whatnot? Nelly, please take over from me before I like spin off into a different orbit.
I was like, LeRon is on the road right now. Like you said, I never really thought of it like that, but I don't even know what to continue on since LeRon was gone.
Actually, hold on, Nelly. Let's have a dialogue real quickly here. Why do you think that you and I didn't even like have this question to begin with? You know what? You know, like, we know who Sarah Bond is. You know, yeah, like, you know, Microsoft kind of did her dirty like last year at that conference and stuff, like where they basically hamstrung her to the PR answer about like, you know, like some of Microsoft's like slip ups and stuff like that. But at the same time, you know, like, why is it that, you know, like, certain gamers and of certain demographics never look at it that way? You know, why is it that, you know, like, we don't think the fact that, you know, oh, Sarah Bond is the president of Microsoft, so like there had to be influence for this and stuff like that, you know?
That's actually a good question. I mean, even like pulling from other games, for example, San Andreas, black man. Watch Dogs 2, black man. Of course, there's always going to be some type of stigma behind that. But I feel like as a person of color, black person, I'm just in it for the enjoyment. It's not something I'm really thinking about.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm glad you did Watch Dogs and Grand Theft Auto, you know, San Andreas, because like I guess it's a lot easier for people to digest because like they're thug roles, you know. It's easy, you know, but you know, like it's hard to like pass that off when like it's a strong like hero, especially when it's a strong hero that's not an actual male hero, you know. It's stuff like that, you know. It's really weird. And you know, like, I'm having this conversation with you just talking about like just I guess the black gamer experience and not so much the black people living in America experience and stuff like that. Because if we go there, we might as well just start a new episode of Boss Rush After Dark to have this talk and stuff like that. But as gamers, like I said, we don't pay attention to this stuff. But I noticed there's always like this mouthpiece out there that picks up this bullhorn or whatnot. Look at Ghost of Yotei. Look at Assassin's Creed Shadow. Assassin's Creed Shadow is getting it from both ends. You got female, you got a female and a black hero. You know,
I want to play that too.
That game's woke.
It's yeah. But,
sorry, I was playing the part of the internet.
Oh yeah, we know. But be careful, Corey, because like you do that too much, you might get canceled.
I know.
You know?
I won't get canceled. Do you see what color I am? I'll be president.
Probably, yeah. You know, I think the thing that hurts the most, and I think this is what people that actually like target these games and say stuff like this don't understand is that you may think you're targeting like a piece of electronic, like, you know, like entertainment or whatnot, but when you say this stuff, like people like me and Nelly, like we take this harshly, because like if you're saying this about something that's fictitious, what are you saying about real people that look like us? You know, yeah.
I'm gonna stop it there.
I'm gonna stop there too. And you know, like, and because like in all seriousness, like, you know, like I guess it's easy for people to do and act a certain way about certain things when they're not always the target every day. You know, it's easy, you know, and this game is, we always use the metric of how many copies does it take to make a game successful. A game like this, you know, having like a million, like, you know, player base and stuff like that, this is a success as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I mean, not that this is really part of this conversation, but I think success also it's based on what what the studio's expectations are too, right? I mean, look at Clair Obscur. I mean, they sold 2 million copies. That's an amazing feat considering that game's on Game Pass. but also that's a studio of 30 people with, maybe 20, 25 people outsourced for music and sound and voice acting and stuff like that. Right. And like, that's a huge success, but to someone like Square Enix, that might be a failure, right? Because their expectations for games are too high.
Yep.
Yeah, Square Enix has been like they've been having some lessons learned like this past year and stuff like that. They've already publicly said that like they're doing course corrections on their expectations, not on what they're doing with gaming, but on their expectations and stuff like that. Like that's for a Japanese company, like that's a pretty big statement for a Japanese company to have, because Japanese companies usually have a lot of hubris. And I'm not saying this culturally. I'm saying this because like Japanese companies set the standard in the video game industry and stuff like that. And all the Western studios have had to play catch up or do things to like come to the table.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm really happy that Compulsion seemingly found an audience for this game, a hit on their hands. I think it looks fun. I downloaded a bunch of games that I haven't played yet this year, and that was one of them because I want to play it. I just got really sucked into Clair Obscur, so.
I want to apologize real quickly to Compulsion Games and Mr. Provost for calling you guys indie. Like I was ill informed, and that happens from time to time. So I do want to apologize to you guys. You guys are doing a wonderful product, and I actually support this game.
I know.
Shame on you, LeRon.
All my Game Pass money has gone to this game. And I'll be honest with you, I was one of the naysayers at first because like something about the original debut trailer like did not hit me the right way. It was that jaggy frame rate that the cinematics were going, that the game was going at and stuff like that. I was like, I was like, why'd y'all put this in a showcase? I didn't realize it was an artistic thing,
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, they were coming off a game that nobody really cared for, right? And We Happy Few, right? A lot of people thought it was going to be like a BioShock story-driven game, and it was a survival roguelite or whatever, right? So like, and obviously their previous games in contrast, and I forget what the other one was. That I mean, they were fine, but nothing to write home about. So you wouldn't ever have any real expectations of this game, except for that this one was finally backed by Microsoft. So good for them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Anybody else have anything to add to this?
Yes, I would spend an extra $100 just to buy this game, to get an Xbox and to buy this game. So I'm sorry.
Hey, that's a glowing review.
It'll probably be on a platform that you own soon enough.
Well, either way, I still want an Xbox. So that's just me. I'm just a spoiled child.
Okay.
I'm the only child. So.
Nellie, you wanna get the final thought
of
this? Like, check the show notes.
Sorry, I started daydreaming.
It's all right. All right, well, let's just put it this way. South of Midnight serves as a prime example of how the gaming industry can evolve by embracing diverse cultures, innovative gameplay mechanics, and non-traditional measures of success. It shows that you do not need a blockbuster budget to create something meaningful and impactful, especially when you focus on authentic representation and unique storytelling. As any studios continue to push boundaries, it's clear that there's a growing demand for games that reflect a wider range of experiences and perspectives. I did say indie again, but yeah, we already know. We already know what it is. Stuff like that. Much like here's looking forward to continued success from the studio. And yeah, I'll go ahead and wrap it up there before I stick my foot any further down my mouth. Okay, everybody. I think it's time for the round table. Look at that.
Round table.
We're doing good. We're doing good. You know what? So I I'm just gonna say it like this: like I've been pretty amped since GTA 6 second trailer came out and stuff like that. But it introduced another narrative because the game has been officially delayed till May 2026, May 26th of 2026. Fans are expressing their disappointment. I'm not one of those fans because I feel like GTA games never come out on time. So yeah, I'm not disappointed. Insider reports suggest that Rockstar Games employees had long anticipated that this was going to happen anyway. Of course, our buddy Jason Schreier, also noted that internal expectations of Rockstar shifted away from the 2025 release, citing concerns over workload and the desire to avoid crunch. This delay isn't just about a missed deadline, though. It's about growing tension between ambitious game development and pressure to meet consumer demand. With the Grand Theft Auto franchise being one of the most profitable in the gaming industry, the stakes are incredibly high. Rockstar has built a reputation for delivering detailed, expansive worlds. Just watch that doggone video, please. And with GTA 6, the expectations are even higher. But as development continues, it's clear that balancing the desire for innovation with the realities of development is no easy feat. This delay highlights an ongoing struggle in the gaming industry where quality, developer well-being, and financial success often collide. So the main question here is, did gamers really believe that there was going to be a 2025 release for Grand Theft Auto 6? Did we believe that? I didn't believe that. Like I said,
go lie.
You did?
I mean,
All right, go.
I did. Huh? I did. It's
No,
been in development for 10 years.
I was about to say, because what we stopped? GTA 5? What'd you say, about 10 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, GTA 5 came out in 2013, and Rockstar San Diego did Red Dead Redemption 2, essentially, right? And then they, towards the end of development, it was all hands. But like, GTA's been in development forever.
The thing is, GTA Online was built to pad some of this stuff, though.
I know.
Am I right?
I know, but they have a live service team and a new game development team. You need to have specific people for that. So
all right, well, this is the round table. So somebody, please give your opinion.
Actually, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not mad about it at all because I don't want to see another Cyberpunk 2077 repeat. So I'm totally okay with this.
That's
and
fair.
That's not to put down Cyberpunk because I actually enjoyed Cyberpunk, but yeah, we don't want another.
CP77 is an amazing game.
I think Grand Theft Auto is such a large franchise that we need to look at two different populations. We've got your casual gamers that really don't play any video games outside of maybe Grand Theft Auto and Fortnite or something. So they may or may not, really be as in tuned as maybe passionate gamers like ourselves, those that are more involved with the community. I feel like maybe those might have taken the 2025 release date a little bit more at heart, whereas us, it's because we have our ear to the ground and more frequently, we're used to seeing so many delays, sorry, like Metal Gear Solid Delta, like Silk Song, like all these delays that are occurring that we are probably a bit more skeptical than your casual gamer. For me, it doesn't matter either way. I'd always prefer um, a well-cooked video game, so to speak. And as long as they are transparent about it, it is what it is.
Yeah, and judging by that second trailer, I think they need to take all the time they can to get this running on, smoothly on all the platforms, right? Because I think, yeah, it's great that it's running on a base PS5 and it's going to run even better on a PS5 Pro, but this thing's also got to run on a Series S, right? Or it's not coming to Xbox. So like, I would like to see them take as much time as they need to polish and make this as smooth of a launch as possible. Because I mean, I don't know if you guys remember the GTA 5 online launch, like it was rough, and so was the Red Dead 2 online, like so much so that Red Dead's Online kind of died, no pun intended. Like it just died. So I think, and obviously Grand Theft Auto is a different beast than Red Dead, right? Grand Theft Auto is the best selling franchise ever created, right? So, but I think a delay is smart, and they're going to make all that money back within the first week, maybe sooner. It's gaming's biggest franchise. Every time one comes out, it's an event. Like, I mean, it's been by the time this comes out, it'll have been almost 13 years since 5, with no interstitial games. It's all been on the GTA Online stuff. I think they have to, they don't have to quote unquote nail it, but they need to make this what they're promising. Right. And Strauss Zelnick pretty much came out and said that this delay happened because they want to exceed players' expectations. Right. And those expectations are already pretty high because it is GTA. So, I'm expecting something pretty spectacular here. I watched that trailer and I know my wife is annoyed by when I talk about video games, so I really don't do it around her all that often, but I showed her the trailer and she was like, she was like, oh my God, like what is going on in this trailer? She thought that opening scene where they shows the water and the beach house and the truck and everything, she thought it was real for a second, because it looks so good. So yeah, I think this game looks great. I'm pretty excited for it, and I'm not a Grand Theft Auto person really at all. So, yeah, I don't know really how much more I can say about it. It's take all the time you need. There's plenty of games to hold everybody over until then.
Yeah,
I kind of figured it was going to get delayed too because they did kind of position Borderlands 4 in that fall window, right? And NBA 2K is kind of in that window too. So they have 2 major games in the fall. 2K does. Not that would really matter, but it matters to those games.
Mm-hmm. That's gonna be my first day by. I'm even gonna take a vacation that week. I'm not going to work.
Plus, the rumors Judas is also coming out this fall, which is theirs too. Which is Ken Levine's follow-up to BioShock Infinite.
I was gonna say I haven't heard that title in a while.
No, right?
So, I mean, that could also be a next year title, but potentially this year. So,
here's my thought on it, and this is not me picking at the gaming community and stuff like that. I was shocked initially when they had the 2025 initial release date and stuff like that. I was shocked because I was like, number one, I've never seen a Grand Theft Auto game come out on time and stuff like that. So when we get the first release date and stuff like that, I was like, oh, first of all, I was like, it's kind of close. Does that mean it's really ready? That was what I was thinking. But like I said, I was tempering expectations. Also, I'm a PC gamer, so I knew I wasn't going to be able to play this game at least for a whole other year once it did come out and stuff like that. I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it for a console. I'm not. I feel like it wouldn't do it justice for me and stuff like that. What I will say though is this game. This is one of those games that I feel is in the too big to fail category now. Now that being said, we already know it's going to be a runaway success. It's going to in the I'm anticipating I'm going to say I'm anticipating 13 million sold the first week.
Yeah, I would.
And that's lowballing it.
Yeah, I would guess that game's going to break the internet. It literally had me looking at PS5 Pros.
Now what's going to either help this or harm this is the price tag it comes out, because there is speculation this might come out at $80 and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to make people whoa, they're going to pull the reins back for a second. They're damn, like I want this game, but
see, I don't think so, because there's also going to be the $100 version and the $120 version and the $200 version where you get your shark card money for online and special skins and guns and
well, we don't know if there's going to be online yet, though.
Yeah, we do.
Like,
come on, that's where they make all their money.
That's putting the cart before the horse.
No, it's not. The horse is riding the cart with a jetpack. That was an Ed comment, LeRon.
Very good.
What I am trying to say though is that like I feel like GTA 6 is going to do well no matter what, and just like I also feel like even though like there are fans out there that are like really like disheartened behind the fact that like the game has gotten a delay, a delay until next year and stuff like that, but at the same time, like nobody's getting death threats, so like that just speaks to the power of that fan base.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also think that a lot of that fan base is just a different fan base than a lot of gaming in general, right? If you play Grand Theft Auto, that's like the only game you play, right? I mean, that's like obviously that's not everybody, but that's I'm the gamer that buys 1 or 2 games a year, right? It's either Call of Duty or the sports game of my choice, and when a Grand Theft Auto game comes out, right? Those are the games they buy. Maybe they dabble in Game Pass if they have it or not, right? But this game's gonna. They could charge $100 for this game, and I think it would sell 20 million units in the first week or month easily.
Yeah,
easily. Plus, if they tag on that, give us an extra $30, you can play it 3 days early, dude. It's gonna happen. Get the special gold shirt if you buy it 3 days early. I don't know. It's usually something dumb, right? Like the Indiana Jones pre-order thing. Like if you got it 3 days early, you got it was the Last Crusade skin, which is literally just Indiana Jones with his jacket off. So it's like, come on. It's so stupid.
I'm getting it. I don't care right at this point.
I'm getting it. I'm getting it too. I just can't get it day one.
I'm gonna.
I got money.
Cosplay the guy at the beginning of the trailer and stream it that day.
Oh, all right. Well, that wraps up the round table here. Let's see. We got time to play a game before we talk about what we've been playing.
What's the game? Are we talking food? Because I'm down.
Do it.
All right. So I want to reintroduce a segment back into the show. Some of you may remember this. It's called Back of the Box Trivia. Basically, 10 games have been selected, all for the same console, and everybody here on this panel, I can't play, unfortunately, so I just have to be the scorekeeper here, and also help out with some things. But basically, they all know the game. Basically, how it goes is I'm going to read the synopsis from. Unfortunately, like these games are so old that like a lot of the archives don't have like the accurate like back to the box descriptions. So like I had to actually use online resources for this. But yet and still though, for every person that guesses the game correctly, you get 1 point. At the end of it, we go 10 rounds. That's 10 games. At the end of it, whoever has the most points gets the boss rush, back of the box trivia, like bragging rights, and maybe a small prize, stuff like that.
Waking up to a picture in my DMs, LeRon, is no prize.
I'm not made of money. So like you got to get what I can supply you with.
I was about to say I was hoping it was feet pics, but that's just me.
Corey will quit the show. Okay. All right. So, are you guys ready?
Sure.
Okay. So, there are 10 games. There are 10 games here and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna randomize. I'm gonna randomize and start. So it's not going in any order. So you can't use a cheat sheet on this one. All right. So you guys ready? Oh, by the way, how are we gonna tell who gets the right to answer first? How are we doing this?
First say our name.
Huh?
Say our
Loud
name.
noises or say our name?
Loud noises.
Say your name. Okay. All right. Here we go. First game. 15 years after a monumental contest, a despot, blank, has established a new and powerful private army. The squad uncovers a mysterious creature during an excavation in Central America, which inadvertently sets the monster off attacking people worldwide.
Ooh. Me.
Me is
Corey,
not
what
a
you
name.
got?
Sorry, you said loud noise also. Corey. Me.
All right. What is it? You stopped me right there, so I'm not going to finish the synopsis. So,
is it? Wait, did you say what console was for already?
Oh, I'm sorry. All 10 of these games were on the PlayStation 1.
That's PS1.
All 10 of these games.
Okay.
I'm not gonna win any of this.
This?
I don't think so either.
Wait, a monster? Oh, I don't know. I had a game in mind, but then I forgot that we didn't.
You might as well say it. You might as well say it because you're not going to get a second guess.
Dang it! Is it? I don't know.
Is that your answer? I don't know.
Yep.
Okay, you were wrong. Okay, all right. So now
I was gonna say Evolve was the game I was thinking initially.
Oh, that's definitely the wrong console.
I know. That's why I asked what console was for.
Yeah. All 10 of these games are PS1 games.
No, I'm out.
All right. So, 15 years after a monumental contest, Despot has established a new and powerful private army. The squad uncovers a mysterious creature during an excavation in Central America, which inadvertently sets the monster attacking people worldwide. This leads the Despot to organizing a contest, hoping to lure the monster out and ultimately gain control of his power. That's the full clue.
Interesting.
You got 10 seconds.
I don't know.
8, 7, 6,
monster.
5, 4.
Well, we'd feel dumb if we
Fantasy Tactics.
Ooh. It is not Final Fantasy Tactics.
Ooh,
all right.
Tactics Ogre.
All right, Stephanie. You're clear to say an answer.
I'm gonna be pissed off if I think I know what it is.
I'm just gonna guess because I just pulled up a list of like PlayStation 1 games. Is it Odd? No, that's not Odd World. No, that's not it. I know what Odd World is. I don't know.
I'm gonna be mad as hell if I.
What do you think it is, Nellie? You've already missed out on the points. What do you think it is?
You said monster. I'm thinking Castlevania, but I also got another one in mind. But go ahead.
The
Tomb Raider.
All right.
I don't know.
No. All right, so here go the clues. The tournament is called the King of Iron Fist Tournament 2.
Tekken 3? Tekken?
Yes, Tekken 3.
Should have known.
Yeah.
Because I played Tekken for the story in 1997.
That's how you're supposed to do it.
I think that the tactic here is know your quiz master.
I almost want to say a Dreamcast.
I mean, I
would have really been messed up.
would have been much happier with that decision.
Go ahead.
All right. Are you guys ready for the next game?
Yes.
Better be easy, LeRon. We're gonna have words.
Our hero Blank is hired by a philanthropist to find an artifact that is rumored to be containing power that is believed to be held by God. I'll give it a little more. Oh, shit.
That Tomb Raider.
There you go, Stephanie. There you go. All right. Someone's on the board now. There we go. All right. Next game. Players control this well-known hero who infiltrates a nuclear weapons facility to neutralize the terrorist threat.
Corey.
Metal Gear Solid?
Technically, Corey chimed in first.
Go ahead.
Metal Gear Solid?
That's correct.
Yes. Thanks, Nelly. I was going
You guys are acting like this is a tough category. Like PlayStation 1 seems like you guys are all right.
For me. You already named half the games, I know.
All right.
You get Crash and Spyro in there, I'm toast. I'm done.
Here's the next one. This game follows our main character as he searches for a missing person in a mysterious city, stumbling upon a cult.
Steph.
Nelly?
Silent Hill?
Oh, wait, who?
Nelly made
yes,
Nelly
it was.
first, yeah.
Yes, it was. Yep.
Silent Hill.
Yep. The game follows our main character, Harry Mason, as he searches for a missing person, his adopted daughter, in a mysterious city, the eponymous fictional American town of Silent Hill. Stumbling upon a cult conducting a rite to revive a deity it worships, he discovers her true origin. All right. This is number 4. Our hero, a mercenary who joins a terrorist organization to stop a megacorp from using a strange energy source.
Ooh, Corey, me.
Okay.
Final Fantasy VII.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our hero, Cloud Strife, is a mercenary who joins an eco-terrorist organization to stop a world-controlling megacorporation from using the planet's life essence as an energy source. Ensuing events send him and his allies in pursuit of a superhuman named Sephiroth, who seeks to wound the planet and harness his healing powers in order to be reborn as a god. All right.
Sounds like Sephiroth is the good guy.
All right. So we're halfway through right now. Corey's in the lead with 2 points. And Steph and Nelly have 1 point apiece. All right. In this game, the player controls a rookie cop and a college student who must escape. Who said that? Was that Nelly?
Yes.
Jeez.
Okay.
Resident Evil 2.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
You said rookie cop, and I thought Resident Evil 2 at first, but then you said college student. I'm like,
Right?
Yep.
I don't know.
Yep. We control rookie cop Leon S. Kennedy on his first day on the force, alongside college student Claire Redfield, who must escape Raccoon City after citizens succumb to a catastrophe 2 months after the events of the original game, Resident Evil. All right.
Scott Kennedy. Go ahead. I'm listening.
I knew Nelly was going to get that. All right. Here's our next game. Might have to think about this one. This game expands on its former predecessor with even more variety. The game features more of what made the original a greatest hit, along with hundreds of challenges and more depth and replay value than any other game of its kind on the face of the planet at that time. This is going to be the hardest one because, like,
Corey,
what you got?
I'm trying to choose between two.
You got it.
Choose the right one.
It's either Gran Turismo 2 or Twisted Metal 2. I think it's Gran Turismo 2, maybe, or Jet Moto 2. Now I forget.
Well, luckily for you, Jet Moto 2 is not on the list. Hold on a second. You just eliminated your weight. Yes, it's Gran Turismo 2.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, expanding on the previous entry, Gran Turismo, the game features what made the original the greatest hits with more than 600 cars, 27 tracks, and hundreds of challenges in depth and replay.
Ridiculous. It's too many.
Yeah, I know, right?
I didn't even know there were 600 cars in the.
And that was a PS1 game.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. All right, Stephanie, I got faith in you. Stephanie.
Come on, Stephanie.
All right. In this game, our hero and his companions travel through time to stop this villain.
Chanel.
Uh-huh.
Crash Bandicoot.
Damn. Damn.
Which one?
Warp.
There you go.
Fine.
All right, let's see. We have 1, 2. We have 2 games left. Stephanie, if you do this, it's a 3-way tie, and then basically no one wins. If you get these last 2.
We all get feet pics of LeRon.
I don't know. Oh man.
I'm not that brazen. I'll send you pics of anything else except my feet.
Oh, we can share this picture, y'all. Go ahead.
All right. Here's our next one. Our hero, who's the son of a famous villain, seeks to destroy his father after awakening from a centuries-long slumber. He must traverse dangerous territory consisting of a vast and interconnected area, battling various enemies and exploring hidden paths. Corey, you got your hand up.
I feel like I should pass on this because I'm winning, but
no, you're doing it.
It's Symphony of the Night, I think. I'm pretty sure.
You are correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, our hero, Alucard, the Dhampir son of Count of Dracula, seeks to destroy his father after awakening from a centuries-long slumber. Traversing Dracula's castle, he must battle various enemies and explore hidden paths. All right, there's one game left. Nellie, if you get this one, you prevent Corey from being the champ. Are we ready?
Ready.
All right.
It's only one, so I guess I'll say me.
Our story follows a highborn cadet placed in the middle of a military conflict where two opposing noble factions are.
Final Fantasy Tactics? That's
it.
That was the only one.
Our story follows highborn cadet Ramza Bayov, placed in the middle of a military conflict known as the War of the Lions, where two opposing noble factions are coveting the throne of the kingdom.
Which is the best version of that game is the War of the Lions edition on the PSP.
Yep, one of my top 10 favorite games of all time. I feel like since there's a tie, I feel like I should make Nellie and Corey fight for a tiebreaker.
I got a tiebreaker for Nellie that has to do with the Final Fantasy Tactics. If she gets it right, she wins, and if not, you could do whatever you want, LeRon. I don't care.
Well, I actually lost then because I never played Tactics. So,
which other Final Fantasy game takes place in the world of Ivalice?
I know that one.
LeRon.
That would be fun. Wait. What system?
PS2.
Final Fantasy 12.
Yep. Good job, LeRon. You win.
Isn't that the one with lightning?
No, that's 13.
Oh, that's 13. Okay. No. Wait. No, I'm thinking 10 too. Okay, never mind.
Oh, man.
I didn't play 12 then.
12 is so good. Everybody should play 12. Play the Zodiac Age, though, not the basic version.
You said Zodiac Age? Hold on.
Yeah.
Because I still have my PS2.
It's Zodiac Age is not on PS2. It's on PS4 and Switch.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see it.
All right. You guys ready for the tiebreaker question?
Oh, we're still getting that? Sure.
We still going. Okay.
If Stephanie gets it right, she wins.
No,
yes.
I'm not.
All the points.
You guys are too fast.
All right, here we go. All right. Set in a fantasy fictional world called Blank, the game follows a group of warriors led by a protagonist named Blank as they attempt to stop the destruction of the world. That's the most generic description, but guess what? That's what you got.
I think it is still a PS1 game.
Still a PS1 game, yeah.
PS1 game? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this was released on PS1, but is not a PS1 game. Was my first thought.
No.
Come on. I was going to say Final Fantasy Origins. Is Final Fantasy 1.
I was going to say Final Fantasy 8, but
wow, you both were wrong.
Dragon Quest 8.
Was that on PS1
or 7? Whichever one was.
Okay. All right. Let's give a clue here. The fictional world is called Indinus. I
think I totally gave it away, LeRon. Totally know where that is.
All right. The protagonist's name is Dart. Does that help?
Oh, okay, no.
Silent Bomber.
It's an RPG.
This feels like it's either Lunar or Suikoden or something in that vein.
Suikoden would have been a better get than Lunar.
Who talked about this game before? Was it you or Ed? Is it the Dragoon game?
That's it, Stephanie. Legend of Dragoon.
Legend of Dragoon. Something about Dragoon. I don't know.
That's
who was
it.
talking about it. But...
My next guess was Arc the Lad.
Wow, Stephanie comes in and knocks you guys out.
But only if you guys give me the time, because like a lot of those games, like I was like, but my brain is so slow. Like I need you to like read the box twice and for me to like sit on it. Wow, I was just kind of reaching for it.
Man, aren't we glad Andre Wilson wasn't here? He would have snatched this up as soon as I said set in a fantasy fictional world called this.
Look, I don't want to hear it. He's played through the entire game except for the end like 10 times, and he won't.
10 times, yeah.
Shit. Fake gamer.
All right, well, you guys are wonderful. I guess it ends with a two-way tie between Corey and Nellie. Like you guys have to meet in the boxing ring and fight for it.
Sounds good.
Whatever it is. All right. Real quick, let's just do a lightning round of what we've been playing. I'll make this easy on everybody. I did not play jack squat last week. It's been these are trying times for me.
I mean, I guess I'll go next because I kind of already talked about it at the top of the show. I played the prologue of Expedition 33. And I also played some Destiny, which nobody wants to hear me talk about that. So
you're still mad about the new content, aren't you? Whenever it releases.
What do you mean?
Well, you're disappointed.
It's just weird. The Star Wars stuff is weird, man. And I know it's like not really Star Wars, but the new Sparrows look just like the speeder bikes from Return of the Jedi, and it's clearly meant to look like Jabba's palace. And they're gonna.
All right, now what you've been playing?
I'm actually playing Split Fiction with my cousin.
Ooh, all right,
nice.
And I'm also playing 2 Point Hospital. Oh, look at the kitty!
I'm gonna get 2 Point Museum. I'm gonna get that.
I have that too.
We'll talk.
Okay.
This is Midna. She's my Twilight Princess. And what have I been playing? I guess I'm still playing Chicory. I haven't played anything during my time at PAX because I've been busy playing demos.
All right. Nellie, thank you for joining us tonight.
Yes, thank you for having me.
It was really a pleasure having you here. Please come back anytime.
Oh, yeah.
We'd love to see more of you.
I'll be back.
And to everybody out there who's been watching and or listening, we want to thank you for watching and or listening to this episode of the Boss Rush Podcast. As you know, this is a flagship podcast for the Boss Rush Network. Stephanie, Corey, and I are always here for you guys. Before we head out, just remember you can catch new episodes every Thursday on your podcast service of choice or on YouTube. If you're a Patreon subscriber, you can get the show ad-free along with other perks along with our pre-show for as little as $1. So go to patreon.com/Boss Rush Network and get started. Check out all of our merch. Find all of our content over at bossrush.net. And guys, I just want to thank y'all. Y'all the best.
I am, aren't I?
Mm-hmm. You are. Mm-hmm. Even when you're pissing me off, you are.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
Gotta be pissed off and pissed on, am I right?
Maybe on Tuesdays. Oh, this is Tuesday.
Yikes.
All right. Come back and join us next week for another all-new episode of the Boss Rush Podcast. We want to thank you so much for watching and or listening. And until next time, we love you. We'll see you later. Play games, be better, have some fun.
Goodbye.
Okay, bye.
Take care.
If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, Retro Stoy, and Christian S. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.